So the best settings for the DJI Osmo Nano is the settings that I use currently. This is what I'm actually filming on, which is the 4K 24. I'm shooting in 4:3, so obviously I can use it for multiple different aspect ratios. Shutter speed is actually double, so you're going to want to do 1/50 for the shutter speed, and exposure I have that between 50 and 1600 ISO. Again, these are my settings. This is the current settings that I'm on. Of course, I have an ND filter on. Now this is obviously one that is for this fly is going all across my face. I actually hate them. I actually have the ND filter for the DJI Osmo Action 4 that actually fits the same thread. So if you already have that, this is also for Action 5 as well, but I remember just typing in Action 4. I'll leave the link to this one in the description. So I do have an ND filter, so obviously to keep that shutter speed, otherwise it would be insanely bright. Right about now I'm in Morocco, so the sun is beaming. So that's the cinematic settings, as well as I keep the temperature on 5500 Kelvin, which is daylight. I like that because it's slightly warm, especially when I go inside. But I do like those kind of tones. I can tweak it if I can in post, and I also shoot in D-Log-M so it's flat profile, so I can afterwards go in and edit it how I want. What you're seeing right now is my custom LUT, so go in the description below if you want some stuff for any Osmo or DJI product. I use the same LUT on my drones, my Pocket 3 and the Nano, so if you want to go check that out, drag and drop. It's already been color corrected. You can just then adjust it as you will, but what you're seeing right now is with my custom LUT. My texture is down -2, which used to be called sharpness, and my noise reduction is also -2. Now if you want run and gun settings, then I would keep it in normal color mode, 10-bit of course, and keep the same frame rate if you want the same sort of cinematic frame rate. I'd keep the exposure. The exposure, to be honest, could be kept the same as what I have it, to 50 to 800, 50 to 1600, or again, you could just leave it completely auto. And as well, you could also keep the sharpness down, and you can keep the noise reduction down, or maybe put it up to about 1, just so you don't get the digital look, which most people don't like. If you don't care about that, then again, you could just leave that at 0. Both of them, leave them at 0 if you want. Also the white balance, you could also just switch that to auto as well, so it just makes it for an easy off the button, simple pick up and go type of setup. Don't get me wrong, I think the Osmo Nano does have some cons, but you need to take it with a grain of salt. And here's what I think. Maybe, I guess I'm not that technical in terms of what you can do via firmware, but the Nano does overheat. But I am in 40-degree weather Celsius, and it gets to about 10 minutes or over 10 minutes, and it will say obviously it will stop recording because it's overheating. But having said that, I feel like it does that when it's connected to the dock, the multifunctional vision dock, I believe it's called. I think it does it when it's connected to that, because when I take it off, those connection points are hot. When I take it off and it's just the pill, which is what I'm filming on right now, which is just the pill, and the vision dock is right here, so as you can see, then it's fine. And it takes way, I haven't had it overheat when it's just by itself yet. So I don't know if that's something that they can do in firmware. Again, not that tech savvy. If they can, that would be awesome. But it's definitely the point of charge as to why it's overheating, because obviously it's pumping power continuously into that. So I don't think if it needs to be continually put on this, I don't think all the time, only probably when it gets low, and when you're in between not recording, put it back on, recharge. Otherwise, yeah, hopefully that can be fixed in an update, but that's so far my only con up to now. If I do, again, if I do find something else, I'll do another video. But after using this intensively, this is what I would use this for. Again, this is in terms of how I would use this camera and what I'm using it for, kind of action stuff in the field of shooting BTS. I shoot a lot of models POV on camera stuff, so that's why I haven't gone to talked about any of the other mounts, the neck mount, because I won't really be using those. I'll probably be using it vlog style like this on the GorillaPod and POV on top of my R6. That's what I'll be using this for mainly. But other than that, like I said, the con, that's the only thing I have noticed. But again, I am in 40-degree heat. I haven't used this, back in cold London to know if that's still going to be an issue. But hey, maybe I'll try that pretty soon as well. And before anyone asks, I'm not sponsored by DJI. I bought this with my own money. I wish I was sponsored by DJI. These are just my own thoughts, my own settings with this camera, which I think is an awesome little tool, and I absolutely love the colors. Again, if you like what you're seeing and the colors of this one, you can go in the description below and get my custom LUTs. Also, I will be comparing this to the Pocket 3 and my thoughts on that, so that video will be tagged here somewhere in the card or at the end of the video. But that's just a quick rundown of the settings that I'm using from the footage that you're seeing right now. I'll probably maybe implement some stuff I've taken over these couple of days using it as well, just so you can see kind of the cinematic stuff that I've been getting. But like, comment, subscribe, as I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.